Sure, thank you. Hi, my name is Patrice Fidel. I'm the lead advanced practice nurse for Aurora Medical Group Palliative Care on the Wisconsin side. And I have the honor today of introducing my friend and colleague, Sandy Mushka. And sorry in advance, I might get a bit weepy because I miss her already. So Sandy is going to talk to us today about her very accomplished career in palliative care. She has been a nurse for 43 years, in oncology for 40 of those years, and in palliative care nursing for the last 25 of those years. She has many, many accomplishments, which I'm sure she's going to highlight some of those today. But I want to point out that she is the founding president of the Greater Milwaukee chapter of Hospice and Palliative Care Association. She was designated as a fellow in hospice and palliative care nursing. And to so many that have had the privilege to work with her, both past and present, she is a cherished colleague, friend, mentor, and confidant. So I'm gonna miss you, Sandy. Take it away.
Thanks, Patrice. Oh my God, I don't know if I can do this now. Okay. Before I had a chance to volunteer for this, Martin did ask me to, asked if I wanted to present last time, at least while I'm working in Chalk Talk. And I said, absolutely. And I recall Wendy's discussion and some of the other discussions from people who've been in this field for a while, when their titles of their presentations were sages, magi, and madmen. You decide. Well, I decided I wasn't any of those. Well, maybe mad, but not any of those other things. But I've always been intrigued by the Maiden, Mother, and Crone triad goddess. And so I thought I would see if I could build something around this. I had a lot of fun putting it together, and I'm hoping that my journey, not just in palliative care, but my journey in life through this. Some very, very light objectives, providing a brief on the goddess, just to, if you're not familiar with her or them, just discuss the traits for each of the archetypes, and then to share what I've learned as I've on my journey as Maiden, Mother, and Crone in my palliative care journey. I hope that as you listen to some of what I talk about today, you identify with these roles also, and reflect on where you're at in your journey and how far you're going to go in your journeys too, as you move along. So the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, also known as the triple goddess, is an archetype that's been around for thousands of years, a lot of religious and spiritual traditions. It's viewed as a trinity of three distinct aspects or figures united to be in one. Oh, sorry, I can't see the whole thing because you guys are here. There we go. Each of these can stand alone in their own power, but it really is meant to work together as a trio. And as our roles change throughout life, I think you'll all see that we need the wisdom and lessons from each of these archetypes. Okay, so here we go. This is my story. This is me as a real maiden, even before being a nurse or being in palliative care, joining palliative care. I know it was probably about 10. I don't even know how old I was there. And this is a picture of the maiden that I really always thought I should be. Just beautiful, prancing through the woods, loving nature. Actually, a part of me, as some of you will know, will always be the maiden. So the key traits of the maiden, first of all, each of the roles in the trio represent a phase of the moon. The maiden is represented by the new moon. So what you think of when you think of the new moon is youth, excitement, starting out in life, new beginnings, actually trying new things, learning how to make mistakes, learning how to ask questions, asking for help, and just really having a curiosity for life. I'm really eager to explore what's ahead of you. What I learned as a maiden is that every day is a new beginning. There is strength in definitely being naive, which I'll leave that for another slide, to look at life with a new perspective. And really, I think what I mostly look is how to identify what's important in my life and really start beginning to identify priorities, which I think comes naturally in the palliative care field because we see our patients every day identifying their goals and priorities. So going home at night and really trying to stay real, I hope I learned that early on. So my accomplishments as a maiden, I took my baby steps in palliative care. I began to take risks outside of my comfort zone, established more independence and confidence, which is definitely true. And that's an ongoing life characteristic. I mean, I'm still working on that. Learn to say it's okay that I don't know. And again, being at the medical college, it was easy. I don't want to say easy, but it was, I never felt really awful by saying I don't know, because it was a teaching institution and it was a place where if you didn't know, you could ask anybody and they were more than glad to teach you. So I highly loved growing up in the academic world and totally found awesome men. And I'm going to talk more about them in a little bit. And a lot of them are on this talk right now too. This is David, remember this? This is our first marketing, well, one of our first marketing brochures, probably taken in the late 90s or 2000. We all, this is David Weissman, Julie Griffey, myself, John Allen, our chaplain, and Lori McNally, who was our social worker at the time. This was a huge deal. They worked on us for a couple hours with makeup and covering John's bald head and 4 different, I don't know how many different poses, but it was quite the brochure that they put together on how to market it. So look at, we're all babies there, hey? Okay, so as a mother, moving on to my mother role, this is me accepting my fellowship in hospice, which has really been an accomplishment. To actually be recognized by your peers was really a huge moment of my career. The traits of the mother. The mother is represented by the full moon. Okay, obviously you think of fullness, richness, gratitude, compassion. A lot of us who go into this field, I think, are born with a lot of those traits. But as you're moving through all of this and learning your priorities and learning other people's values, hearing of people's values, I think it really puts to light the fact that you still are learning those things as you go along too, even though they're innately in us. There's a lot to learn about compassion and gratitude, learning responsibility, and accepting a lot of these things that you are able to do the things that you want to do. So I had a lot of, this is only a few of the things I've learned during my mother role: how to stand on my own 2 feet, a sense of passing on wisdom, education, pride, and fulfillment. Definitely gratitude, always gratitude. Immensely protectiveness and a very fierce love for the work that I do and being around the people that I love. Learning to say no, which of course I said I learned that here, but I know people in this office right now who say that I really have not learned how to do that. And the importance of self-care. Journaling, I think it was during these years that I started really my love of yarn and knitting, reading, and just really trying to identify, definitely splitting work from the work for my personal time at home. I was so lucky in my mother years to be a part of so many huge things. This is hugely in my palliative care world. For the birth of the CAPSI leadership training teams, I remember being at that first training team in Vermont and becoming part of the leadership training groups, working with David as he founded the Journal of Palliative Medicine. And I think the first article that I was co-published writer on was in that first issue of the journal. It was 25 years ago, probably now. Being part of the fast facts development and how that's just progressed over all these years. And you don't see anybody in this field today who doesn't know about fast facts in the journal. Working really hard to develop an outpatient oncology role at MCW, which is carried on to my work here at Aurora. And then, like Patrice mentioned earlier, this really huge accomplishment, I think, of putting and helping form our first chapter of Hospice and Palliative Nursing Association here in Milwaukee. There was a lot of work that went into putting it together, and it succeeded for many, many years. I had the chance to speak and present in national and international forums, writing, and really I think my favorite parts were the mentoring of multiple maidens into the palliative care world in all disciplines, not just nursing, but physicians and social workers, chaplains, you name it. It's just that has always been so much fun. And not only mentored them, but learned a ton from them also. This is one of the last groups that I worked with, I think, at the college. I don't really remember what year this was, but it grew by leaps and bounds. Fun groups, just a blast working with everybody. Yeah, my mother years were awesome. They were just great. I grew so much during that. Uh-oh, we're moving into the Crone years now. And this is the Crone. This is us on my 65th birthday. My team here took me out axe throwing at the axe bar. This was actually a posed pic. I think I was the only one who didn't, but it was really a lot of fun and I didn't really care. I was having a blast. But this on the right, this is the woman that I want to look like. I think I see the wisdom and the life and the love in her eyes and just the color. I don't know. This is what I'm hoping that as I move along Crone years, that I will hopefully have the same look in my eyes and be like this. The Crone is represented by the fading or waning moon, you know, as we're moving on to those golden years, but absolutely represents the wise woman. Wisdom, compassion, knowledge, a lot of the characteristics and traits that come and were built on from the maiden and the mother are really come to height here in my Crone years. It's been a real culmination, the life and experience. Definitely have learned a great deal over my lifespan and I believe, ready for what may come next. What I'm still learning as I transition into Cronedom, how to let go, how to embrace the change. We learn that we gain wisdom through our experiences, whether they're good. Still working on how to love myself and still working on the traits that I was learning in my other roles as maiden and mother. Accomplishments, that I do have some wisdom. I continue to learn something new every day. I here say definitely ready for what may come next, even though I just said I'm not sure I'm ready. So I'm still thinking about that one. And definitely maintain lifelong friends and family in the palliative care world. Okay, so this is our group a couple of years ago before COVID at the Pedal Tavern, having a blast. This was us celebrating Festivus last year. Here's our poll for grievances. We had so much fun. We're going to do it again next week we're doing it biannually or semi-annually, I should say. This is our wall of fame from our current team. This is, believe it or not, this is from 5 years of fun and joy that we have on our team every day. And there's a ton of other things that could be put up here too. So I hope you guys are okay with me putting it up there, but I want to keep this picture on my bulletin board at home because it's so much fun. Reminds me of all that. Okay, favorite quotes. Here we come in, David. You can't argue with a crazy person. David, I learned that and pass that on wisdom probably daily to just about anybody I meet. When you're dead, you're dead. From one of the doctors here at St. Luke's, Vani quotes, I just don't trust anyone who doesn't eat. When I grow up, I want to be just like Rose. Rose is one of our NPs here, an outstanding NP in our CHF program. Sometimes I look at my friends and think to myself, where did I meet these crazy people? But then I think, what would I do without them? From one of my favorite philosopher groups, the Minions. Oops, sorry. And then may the bridges I burn light the way. This is an anonymous phrase, but well known to the current team and knowing that we're all going to meet again someday and we all know where that's going to be. Okay. Miscellaneous thoughts. I've been blessed, totally blessed. Some of it was luck. Some of it was timing, I believe. Some of it was, I actually sometimes knew what I was doing. And that's a good feeling. Great accomplishments don't come from people who give up. Palliative care has always brought me joy and a sense of family. So I say highly, always choose joy. That's my favorite word. Another great philosopher of our times, Dr. Seuss. 5 lessons in life, and I'm going to read them because they're very true. Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Number 2, why fit in when you were born to stand out? Number 3, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Number 4, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. And number 5, today I shall behave as if this is the day I will be remembered. Okay, so as a lot of you know, I like to try to be creative. And my last Chas talk, I did sort of a song. Please, I'm not going to sing again, but I do have a creative moment here. I did write a poem, and I'm going to share it and try to get through it. And then there's just a couple things to say after that. So please bear with me. Okay. I called it A Maiden's Journey. The years did not go fast. The years did not go slow. The years threw a net to cast and allowed me a time to grow. As maiden, I learned time to explore and how to give. I was given time to try and found a life to live. As mother, I learned wisdom, how to stand on my own 2 feet, prepared the way to cronedom, and found great friends to meet. As crone, I have gained insight through experiences good and bad on how to sit still or take flight and remember the great times I've had. Today, I say thanks to you, to all near and far. Whether you be maiden, mother, or crone, continue to reach for the stars. I love you guys so much. It's been so thanks to all of you. My maiden and mother teams at Fredert and MCW, my mother and crone teams here at Luke's and Aurora. A special thanks to my husband, Al, and our furry child buddy. We've sacrificed some during my changes in my career and learned a lot, and for all, and mostly love to all of you for all the support and love. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Sandy, can you hear me?
I can.
So that was beautiful. That was really awesome.
Thanks.
And I hope I told you many, many times when you worked with me, what an honor it was to work with you. I got the opportunity to watch you grow from a novice into this incredible leader. Every challenge you took on with grace, humility, and incredible professionalism. I always said, you know, I started the program, but it was the nurses who really made it run.
You always do that.
And it was the nurses who built all the bridges, founded the field. We were just along for the ride. And you were just such a role model. Everybody who came saw you as a role model and latched onto you as this fountain of wisdom. I can't tell you how much I think back on those with wonderful, wonderful feelings. And you were really at the center of it all. You were there for all those years. So thank you so much.
Thank you. You gave me the opportunity, David, and thank you. You always did say it was the nurses, and it was all of us, but thank you. I very appreciate that.
Sandy?
Yes.
Steve, I'll see you in the office in a bit, but I hope when you were talking about the maidens that you helped raise, that I could be considered one of your honorary maidens. I've looked to you as both a colleague and a mentor, and I'm just so blessed to have had the opportunity to continue working with you following completion of my fellowship. You know, I first got to know you as you know, one of the 3 ladies in the NP office, and you know, over time I've just grown to be so impressed by everything you do. You've always been upbeat. You've always been kind. You're a hard worker. You don't complain.
Not to your face.
I'm really gonna. You're tactful about it, and I'm gonna miss you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Steve.
you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve.
Well, wow.
Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you joining today, and for all your kind words and for all you do. Just keep it up.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for being here, David. Very special.
You well, Sandy?
Thank you so much, Sandy.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We love you, Sandy.
Thank you.